This automation will scrape thousands of leads using a search engine called Gina. It will extract the data from the HTML that it scrapes, and it will save everything into Google Sheets. For this example, I'm using the Yellow Pages because the Yellow Pages is a great example. It's a great resource for you to find millions of leads, and it's free to get signed up. So you can see here that I've done a search for lawyers in New York City, and there's a ton of information on here that you can scrape. This automation is triggered by a Telegram bot. So I've got an agent here called Ask Ava. I just pasted a URL in here, which will then trigger the automation. The next thing I need to do is I want to extract the URL, because sometimes I'm in a hurry. I don't always just paste in the URL. I pasted some instructions or some other details, right? If I want to be a bit more detailed in what I'm doing. So what I want to do there is I want to extract the URL. So this is an OpenAI node. It's just using 4.1 mini, and the prompt is quite simple. It's just extract the first valid URL from the following, which is the message text from Telegram. Only return the URL and nothing else. For example, and then I've just given it as an example of Zillow.com. And so once we have that, we can now scrape the URL. Okay, so for this, I'm using the HTTP request node, and we're going to use Gina.ai. So if you head over to Gina.ai, it's basically a search engine that's completely free, and they give you a generous 10 million tokens. So click on the API here. It'll take you down to the API section. And the one that we want is this one here, which is to read the URL and fetch its content. And so what you can do is you can grab the curl for this, which is just this here, and then head back into the node, click on where it says import curl, and you can actually paste it in here. So it will tell you basically what the base URL is, how the endpoint is set up. So the endpoint is just the URL that you're going to use. It's a get method, and then the authorization bearer, this is just the API key that everyone will have. But if you're not sure, you can then scroll down to the bottom on Gina, and you can find the API key here. So once you have everything imported, it's all set up for you, and it's actually outputted the data. So this is just HTML that's scraped from the website. And so the next thing we want to do is we need an AI agent to basically grab all the relevant information from that data dump. So for this, I've set the prompt as just a data. So just drag and drop this field here. And then I want to return strictly valid JSON matching this format, no extra text or formatting. So basically all I've said is put it into an array, which is these square brackets here. And the variable is going to be name, phone numbers, address. And the reason for that is because I want to use those values later. I'm going to store them inside of my Google Sheet. And so once it's done, you can see the output is an object. It's got a string in here called name, and it's got another string here, which is a phone number and an address. And so because it's an object, we need to split it out because it's only going to output one item, as you can see here, right? And so we need to split it out because there's actually 30 leads in that one object. And so the next thing we want to do is use a split out node. And then for the output, you just want to select, for the fields to split out is just output. And then where it says include, you don't want any other fields. When you run it, you'll see now that we've gone from one item to 30. And that's because there's 30 searches per page on this Yellow Pages search that I did. And so now that we have it, and we can see it in the table format, you can see all these leads, right? And so once we have that, the last step is to save them onto a Google Sheet. So for this, I've just created a lead scraper sheet. It's going to map it manually, and this is going to be an append row operation. And then the values that we're going to use to match this is going to be the ID column. And for that, I've just used a function inside of Google Sheets, which is just to generate a unique ID. And you'll see why it's -1 in a second when I show you the sheet. And then basically it's just mapping the name, the phone number, and then the address. And you can take whatever you want. I mean, I'm running this live on a video, so I wanted to keep it as short as possible. But obviously, remember, if you are extracting more information, it's going to take longer for the automation to run. But if you run it something overnight, then it's not going to be any issues for you. And then if I head over here, you're going to see that all the leads have been saved on this lead scraper. And yeah, you can run this for as long as you want. So I ran this a few times, as you can see, and I've got 89 results in a matter of like 3 minutes. And if you want to grab this automation for free, head over to my school community. The link is in the video description below. Inside the community, you're going to find the classroom. I've actually got a few classrooms in here, and obviously I'll be adding more as time goes on. But the two most important ones for you is how to launch your AI agency in 16 days. So if you're new to this channel, I actually started my agency. It took me about 30 days to get it launched, to get it started, to get everything in place, and to find my first client. And I'm going to show you how to do that in 16 days. So I've actually got a whole section on here, which is day 1 to 16, and then basically everything you need to do to get to that point. And I've also got all the AI automations and blueprints that I talk about on this channel. So if you click inside of here, you're going to see n8n.io, and there's some make.com ones here as well. So like I said, the link is in the description below. Sign up. I'll see you on the other side. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you soon.